channel. If you're new around here, my name is Bettina. I'm the makeup enthusiast. In this video, I'm here to do my quarter 4 / finale on my plan to pan for 2024. So if you want to see how I went on all my goals that I set at the start of 2024 for my panning, then stay tuned. But before we get into the video, if you're new around here and you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe down below so you can join the family and keep up to date on all my future project panning related content or any other beauty related content that I'll be publishing this year. Without further ado, let's jump on into it. So my plan to pan for 2024, I set some lofty goals in 2024. I'm quite happy with how I did overall, and I have been updating this side quest quarterly. So you guys have been watching along at home and seeing how I was progressing through all of these goals throughout the year. So we'll start off with the products that I finished up in quarter 4 or hit my goal on in quarter 4. Then I'll let you know what my fails were for the year, I guess. And then we might recap everything that we used up in 2024. In this project. The first goal that I met in quarter 4 was to use up an eyeshadow. So I set the goal of using up at least one eyeshadow in 2024, and I did manage to do that. I used up this color here, Cointreau, out of this eyeshadow palette. So this is the Chica y Chico One Shot eyeshadow palette in Night Drink. And I used up this color here, Cointreau, as a lid setting shade. So I used it to set my eyeshadow primer basically like every single day for almost like 6 months or something, and I managed to get through it. It was a really nice little color, good little shadow to use for that purpose. So that was my first one that I finished in quarter 4. The next one was this little troublesome guy. This is the Secret Cuticle Oil. This one took me a very long time to get through, but I finally managed to get it finished in quarter 4. You can see the little tracking along the side there. It took me forever to get through this, but I'm very happy to say it's finally out of the collection. Then some lip products that I managed to get finished in quarter 4. I actually managed to finish 3 in quarter 4. So the first one was my Mecca Cosmetica Lip Balm in Natural. I don't know whether you can see there, but I think last quarter I had still a little bit left in this one, and I thought that I would only be able to get it down to the cap, but I managed to even scrape into it. Got that one finished. And then I finished up my L'Oreal Color Rich lipstick in 630. Last quarter I had it depotted into this little sample pot here, and I have managed to get it all completely finished. That one is empty in there, and the little sample pot's empty. So I used up the last bit of the sample pot as a cream blush, and I also paired it as a lipstick as well quite regularly. And then the last lip product that I used up was my Too Faced lipstick in Spice Spice Baby. I was working on this one as well in my team project pan, and I managed to get this one completely used up as well. I was only using this one as a lipstick to get that one finished. I also finished up my Dubious Place face powder. So I think I had a little bit of this left at the last quarter update, but I've managed to get that one completely finished. And I also used up the diffused light powder in this palette here as well. That was this one in the middle. So I only have 2 products left in this palette, and I want to try and get these ones finished this year hopefully, but I managed to get another one done and dusted, and I still have the blush and the strobe light powder left in this palette. And then the major, I think, win for the quarter was getting the last 3 pans in my Modern Renaissance palette. So I did manage to get it to the point where I have a pan in every shadow in this palette. And the last 3 pans that I hit in this palette was Bonfresco, Antique Bronze, and Venetian Red. So those are the last 3 that I needed to hit in this palette, and I managed to get that done in that last quarter. How good does this palette look? So satisfying having a pan in every color in this palette now. So good. I think this is the only palette that I have now in my collection, I think, that has a pan hit in every single shade in the palette, which I just feel like it's a massive, massive win to finally be able to achieve that. I also used up a cream blush. So this year I wanted to try and So in 2024, I wanted to try and use up at least one cream blush, bronzer, and highlight. And I still had the cream blush goal to meet. And I managed to get this little sample from Nude Sticks used up. So this is in the color Rosy Posy, and it's one of their all over face color blushes. I actually really enjoyed this product. I really enjoyed the formula. Happy to have that one done. And this one kind of came and went in almost like a year window. So I like received it as a Sephora 100 point perk, and I managed to get it used up in the like preceding 12 months. Then my other goals that I still had to go, so working on my sample goal. So last quarter I was sitting at 60 samples. This last quarter of the year I managed to get that up to 76 samples. So unfortunately I didn't reach the 100 samples, but I did manage to get it just over 3/4 of the way to the goal met. And then last quarter I was sitting at 24 eyeshadow pans already hit. So I did meet my yearly goal at the last quarter, but in the final quarter I did manage to hit another 9 pans, taking my total of pans hit in 2024 to a total of 33 pans hit. And that concludes everything that I managed to get used up in that last quarter. Now I'm just going to share with you, out of my whole list of prompts, out of my whole list of goals of my plan to pan for 2024, what I didn't manage to reach goal on. So let's quickly go through that. So starting off, we have my Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. So I wanted to hit pan on both sides of this palette, and I was working on this in my Pan That palette for a couple of months, and I managed to hit pan on the bronzer, and then I gave up, and I decided that I wasn't going to try and hit pan on the highlighter anymore in that project, because I knew that I was fighting a losing battle and it just wasn't going to happen. So I quit my losses and I just gave up on hitting pan on the highlighter. You can see that it does look like there is a slight dip in that middle bit there of the highlighter, but it's nothing compared to the bronzer. So this one, the highlighter is going to take a very long time to get used up. I probably will never see the end to that highlighter. The next one was I wanted to use up 2 Stila Magnificent Metal Glittering Glows or Shimmering Glows. I have a lot in my collection, and unfortunately I think I was working on one a little bit this year and I just kind of gave up, and I never went back to trying to pan any of those Stila glitters. So I unfortunately didn't meet this goal at all. Didn't even get 1 finished, let alone 2, unfortunately. Then the next one was my samples. As I just mentioned, I only managed to get 76 samples used up this year. I was aiming for 100, but unfortunately I fell a little bit short. So I don't know, it is what it is, but I'm still very happy to see that I got 76 samples out of my collection. It's keeping this as a consistent goal throughout the years in my plan to pan has really helped me reduce down my sample collection to a more manageable size, and it's really helping me now maintain the samples that are coming in my collection, and it's also making sure I am continuing to use those up and focus on those and not just leave them sitting in a box forever and then finally deciding it's time to use them up. I'm actually continuing to consistently work through those products. I wanted to get this one finished up this year. This is my Pat McGrath Labs Intensifies Artistry Wand. Unfortunately, I didn't get this one finished up, and unfortunately, I didn't actually even weigh it at the start of the year, which is probably quite silly. I would have been able to see exactly how much progress I made on it throughout the year, but unfortunately I didn't weigh it. It is a clicky pen, so it's very difficult to track. I was hoping that I would get this one finished in 2024, but that didn't happen. So I am hoping that I'll get it done this year. I did use it quite a bit, but because I didn't weigh it, I don't exactly know how much I used it. Now I guess in 2025, that's a really good indicator. I should actually make sure I weigh this one, because this time at the end of the year, I will actually be able to know exactly how much I've used if I haven't already had it completely finished. I also wanted to use one liquid lipstick. I don't even know if I used a liquid lipstick this year or if I even included a liquid lipstick in a project. I think I may possibly have at one stage in my deck of panning dabbled with a liquid lipstick for a couple of months, but in terms of like consistent regular use to try and get one used up, that's not happened at all. Liquid lipstick has been on my list of products that I want to use up for the last like 2 or 3 years, and I don't think I've used up a single one yet, so I really need to regroup on the idea of trying to use up a liquid lipstick. Then I wanted to, which was also another lofty goal, I wanted to finish up my Milani Luminoso blush, And I didn't even hit pan on this one in 2024, let alone get it used up. So I'm hopeful that maybe I might be able to see some more progress on this one in 2025. But in terms of how I went on this one last year, it did not happen at all. I was being very ambitious, to say the least, when it came to blushes last year. I think I had maybe like 3 or 4 blushes to use up on my list, which is very silly because it takes a very long time to use up a blush. I also wanted to get my MAC Radiant Sheer Face and Body Radiant Foundation finished, but again, this also didn't happen. I did manage to probably halve the amount that I had at the start of the year. So I've used up probably half of the bottle and there's not much left. There's probably like maybe a third of the bottle left. This one's going to take me a while to finish up and use up, but I am continuing to use this one very regularly and consistently. I'm using this one basically like every single day for my work makeup, so I am still using it, but I always find the MAC Face and Body, a very small amount of it goes a very long way, and then combining that with the fact that I mix this with another foundation also means I see a lot less progress on this foundation. So it's probably going to take me maybe like another 8 months or something to get this one finished, but I will see the end of it. I'm determined to get it finished. And then the last one is powders. So I do still have some powders that I had at the start of the year in my collection. So I still have my Pat McGrath Labs Under Eye Setting Powder. This is how we're going on that one. So I did manage to hit pan on this one this year and I have flattened it out quite considerably, but there's still quite a lot of powder left in there. I also still have the LH Cosmetics. Why do I always say this is the LH Cosmetics? Then I also still have my Haus Labs powder, and I've barely touched this one. I only ever wear this one now when I put on my Haus Labs foundation, and I'm kind of saving this for when I go like whole hog focus on the Haus Labs foundation. So it's not even like, oh, I may have used maybe like a quarter of it, but there's still a lot of powder left in there. And then also my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Powder. This as well also still has a lot of powder left in it. I barely use this one. When I do use it, I usually only use it under my eyes. So I want to, and I say this every time I mention this powder, I want to have an experiment with this one to see if I can use it to set my face. If I can, then at least I can get through it a lot quicker. But at this rate, it's not going to happen. Maybe I could mix this one actually. Maybe I could mix a little bit of this one in with another powder that I have. Maybe that might help me use it up. I'm not quite sure. But if I don't find a way to use this on more of my face than just under my eyes, this powder is going to last an eternity because this is a 13-gram powder. So there's a lot of powder in there and I don't use it very much. So that's all the products that I didn't meet my like entire goal on. So I don't think I did too badly. It was only a handful of products that were still left. And I mean, there was no way that I was going to get like all of these powders used up in the year, but I'm happy. I think I got maybe 2 or 3 powders completed and used up. There are some products that I left it too late to start focusing on to see any real progress on them. I'm happy with the progress that I did make, and there's only like maybe 6 or 7 products that I didn't completely meet the goal on. So just to recap, let's go through my list again of my plan to pan for 2024 and let's see what I completely used up throughout the year. So starting off, my goal was to hit 24 eyeshadows, and you guys just heard I managed to hit 33 eyeshadows in 2024. So I hit an extra 9 eyeshadows on top of the goal that I had. Then there was quite a few lip products. I managed to finish up the NARS Fast Lane Lip Balm, the NARS Fast Lane Lip Balm. I used up a Too Faced Spice Spice Baby lipstick, the L'Oreal Colorish lipstick in 630, the Lana Lips Tinted Lip Balm, the Fenty Gloss Bomb in Confetti, the Mecca Cosmetica lip balm, the Burmese Dream lip oil. So I used up a total of 7 lip products in this project this year. I then also hit pan on my bronzer in my Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. Unfortunately, I didn't hit pan on the highlighter, but I'm still counting the bronzer as a win. I used up 2 eyeliners. One of those was the LH Cosmetics Acelia Flash eyeliner, and the other one was the LH Cosmetics Orcrux Flash eyeliner. I also used up 2 lip liners. One of them was the Wayne Goss lip liner in Natural Berry, and then the other one was my red lip liner, which was the NYX lip liner in Hot Red. My samples, as I said, I managed to get 76 samples completed on that. And I also managed to hit all of the pans left in the Modern Renaissance eyeshadow palette. So I had 6 pans left to go in this eyeshadow palette, and I managed to get that completed. So I managed to hit pan on the color Realgar. I managed to hit pan on Vermeer, Primavera, Bon Fresco, Antique Bronze, and Venetian Red. So those are the ones that I hit this year. I also managed to hit pan in the Tarte Blush Wheel, the color Montage. I hit pan in one of the shades in my ABH contour kit. I used up the Hourglass Diffused Light powder out of the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Sculpt Edit palette. I used up one of my Sol de Janeiro Brazilian Crush body sprays. I actually ended up, I think, using up 3 of those this year because I ended up getting 2 minis, and then I think I ended up with another mini throughout the year from Mecca Beauty Loop. I used up 3 nail polishes. So one of them was a base coat, one was a top coat, and then one was a nail polish color. I finished up using 7 hair care products throughout the year. One of them was a hairspray, a couple of them were dry shampoos, and lastly there was a couple styling products, which was really exciting. I finished up my Franken blush, which I started the year with. I also used up my Juvia's Place concealer. I finished up one eyeshadow, which was my Chica y Chico eyeshadow. 2 mini cream highlighters or liquid highlighters finished. I finished up my Fenty cream bronzer in Butter Biscuit, and I lastly finished up the Nude Sticks cream blush. I used up my Isle of Paradise tanning drops, and I also used up my Isle of Paradise tanning water. I finished up the, god damn that stupid product, the High Smile Purple Teeth Shampoo product thingo. My NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I used up the Juvia's Place powder, and I also used up my Glossier Wowder. And last but not least, I finished up my Secrets cuticle oil. So that was all my goals that I managed to hit throughout 2024 on my list of plan to pan. I'm very happy with that. It was quite a long list. It's like 2 pages in my little notebook was taken up by plan to pan, and I got most of them completely finished. I'm very happy with that. There were some really hard goals on this list, and I'm very happy to see that some of the hardest ones on the list were the ones that I managed to complete. So very happy with that. Let me know down in the comments how you went on your plan to pan for 2024, and when you've done your little roundup and reflection on using up your makeup products in 2024, let me know what your biggest achievement was. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe down below if you do want to join the family and you want to keep up to date on all my project panning that I'll be doing in 2025. That's it for this video, beautiful. I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, beautiful.